guys, welcome back to my channel and to the next video about my weekly makeup bag and basically what products I have used last week that I thought were good, and then updating you on this week's makeup bag. Before we head into showing you all of the products and talk to you about all the products, I'm going to ask you, if you like me and my personality and the content that I put out, then don't forget to subscribe because it does help me out a lot, believe it or not. Comment down below, get interactive with me and just connect with me, and yeah, you don't even have to like the video, just subscribe and comment. That's all I care about when it comes to interaction with you guys. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So from last week's makeup bag, the first two products that completely stood out for me was the combo of the Makeup Revolution Pro Base Aqua Priming Base, which is this one, and the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer. Now the foundation primer is almost completely out. Maybe I have one more use if I try hard enough out of it. So I'm really sad about that. This is the sample size, but using this priming water in combination with this was just absolutely fabulous. It prolonged my makeup and it just primed my face so well. So I'm going to also be keeping these two in my this week's makeup bag. Now from last week, the powder Rimmel Match Perfection powder that I've been using last week, it did the job done. It did a really good job actually, but I want to be trying out a different powder this week, so I'm just going to be putting this one back away. But I do like this powder and I think it did a good job. When it comes to the bronzer from last week, the Maybelline Master Bronzer, it did a good job. It is pretty subtle but buildable bronzer, but I just want to pull out a different one and it didn't do anything amazing. The next thing that stood out to me this month, why do I keep saying this month? The next product that stood out to me from last week was the highlighter. As you know, I wanted to use the Model's Own Sculpt and Glow highlighter in Peach Pearl, which looks like this, and if to be honest, I used it maybe twice and then I ended up pulling out the Pixie and Aspen Overd highlighter. I started work last week and I just generally wanted something that was natural but glowy but nothing too crazy, and it looked nice on my skin, and I just didn't have my trust in this highlighter, so I just pulled out this one. Another product that I forgot to mention to you guys from last week is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I still have the box in which it comes in. Mine is in a shade Fair, and I have been absolutely obsessed with this concealer. I have been using it every single day since the day I have purchased this, and it does break my heart because this concealer is £20. Which is a bit pricey, but I put it on, it lasts as long as I need it to, it lasts as long as a foundation. It does crease a little bit, but then so does 90% of the concealers that I have in my collection, so as long as I set it straight away, it doesn't crease throughout the actual day. And I don't know, there's something about this concealer that makes me keep reaching out for it, and I can already feel that it's like I've made a good dent into this concealer, and I am not excited for the day that it runs out and I need to buy another one, because from the price of this concealer I could have at least another four of the concealer that I normally use, which is the Collection Lasting Perfection. But I had to mention this concealer from last week, and I am also going to be keeping this concealer in my collection for next week, so yeah. When it comes to the eyeshadow palettes that I said I'm going to be using last week, which was the Modern Renaissance palette, I actually ended up not. I had my graduation last week and I also started my job last week, and for whatever occasion, which with my graduation I went intense with my eyeshadow, I just still didn't reach out for this eyeshadow palette. I don't know why, but it's like usually when I do my eyeshadow I don't want to spend too long on it and I don't want to be too careful with how I'm doing my eyeshadow. So I ended up pulling out my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and I am so in love with this palette. It's well loved and it suited well for both my work makeup and my graduation makeup and whatever other makeup I was doing during the week. So I am also going to be keeping this one in this week's makeup bag, but also I'm going to be adding more products to it. When it comes to the setting spray, I've been using the Freedom Pro Studio fixing spray, which looks like this. It did do a great job at keeping my oils at bay, and that's why I'm going to be keeping it in my bag for this week as well. And I just never realised how good this actual setting spray was for prolonging my makeup, so I do recommend you guys check it out. And guys, that's all I have to say about last week's makeup products. There was nothing else that was significant enough for me to mention. So let's move on to this week's makeup bag. So in this week's makeup bag, for the primer, I've already mentioned I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Aqua Priming Base and the Laura Mercier one. But I also wanted to pull in back my MUA Undress Your Skin Illuminating Liquid Glow, which looks like this. I usually put this on before I put any foundation on, so I want to include that, and it does kind of remind me of the Laura Mercier foundation primer, so I want to see how it goes. For the foundation, I want to go back to using the Fit Me Matte and Polish Foundation in 102 by Maybelline, and it looks like this. It's pretty mattifying foundation, but I want to try out if it helps keeping my oils at bay during work, so I'm probably going to be using it. And also it is slightly darker for the colour that I am during winter, so I want to continue keep using it until it's too dark for me. For the concealer, alongside with the Too Faced Born This Way, because I don't want to be using it every single day for this week, I'm going to be pulling out the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age The Razor Eye Concealer. Mine is in a lighter shade. Everyone hypes about this concealer. I don't really like it too much. I don't know what's about it, what's with it, but I want to continue using it and see what's the spiel with it. For my powders this week, I'm going to be using the Lottie London Ready Set Go True Translucent Powder, which looks like this. I just want to see how it does at prolonging my makeup, especially when I'm at work, in comparison with the Rimmel True Match powder. And then alongside that, I want to be using also the Rimmel Matte Me powder thing. As I said, I have a new one in my drawer, so I want to kind of just finish this one off because it's a waste to throw this one away because there's still quite a bit of a product. For the bronzer this week, I want to pull back out the Benefit Hoola bronzer, the original one. I used it today, and that's just the issue of it. Like, you need to do a slight little dip, and that's enough for pale skin tones like me. So I just want to see how it goes because I don't tend to reach out for this bronzer too much, and I think next time I'm doing Decluttered series, I think this might go into Declutter. For the blusher this week, I want to go back to using the Rimmel Lasting Finish Soft Colour Blush in 10 Santa Rose, and the blush looks like this. It's absolutely cute. Very nude blush, but it does show up quite a lot on my skin tone, and I was just pulling this one out just in case I don't want to be using the Hoola bronzer for my work just because it is a bit too strong. I can just pop this on and it does kind of end up looking like as if I was wearing a bronzer. For the highlight this week, I have two highlighters that I want to be using. The first one is the Jeffree Star Skin Frost in Ice Cold, and it looks like this. The reason why I want to be using this is because I have two of his highlighters, this one and the Lavender Something, and I've kind of stopped using them. I loved them at the start when I got them, and then I stopped using them when I started experimenting with more highlighters. This kind of just makes my skin look very textured, and I just want to give it a couple more tries before I might possibly declutter it once I start my decluttering series once again in 2018. However, the highlight that I did pull out for more subtle days but also very glowy days and days where I know my skin is going to look good with this highlighter, and also obviously for work, is the e.l.f. Moonlight Pearls highlighter. And it looks like this, and it is very like, it's kind of like a baked formula, and you do have to work with it a little bit if you want it super blinding, but I do think it is absolutely stunning highlighter for everyday use, like for work and all that stuff. For my brows this week, I want to continue using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. No particular reason, it's just because I want to. It's great colour match for me, it's in the shade Blonde, and I just generally want to use it because I like it for work. For the eyeshadow this week, I am going to be pulling out, obviously alongside with the Sweet Peach palette, I want to also be using the NYX adorable eyeshadow palette, which looks like this, and you open it up and that's what it looks like on the inside. This eyeshadow palette isn't the best eyeshadow palette in the world, but what I want to find out is whether it is the worst. I am probably never going to declutter this palette just because my boyfriend got it for me. And don't get me wrong, he got me a lot of palettes that you see throughout my channel, but this one is the only palette that he ever got me without me having to suggest the particular palette for him to get me. Type of thing. You know, when they ask you what do you want for your birthday, and like you say anything on this list, and those kind of people. This one he just got me randomly out of nowhere from his own initiative, so I don't want to really declutter that, but I just want to know what's up with this palette. For the mascara for this week, I'm going to be using the Maybelline No Falsies Volume Express Black Drama Mascara, and it looks something like this. And I don't know, I'm sure everyone's sick of hearing everyone using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara, so I just thought I'd pull this one out and see how it performs when I'm at work. And again, when it comes to lip products, I'm just going to be using whatever I feel like here, but most likely it will just be the Revlon Lip Butter in 025 Peach Parfait, which looks like this, and I just really like this lip butter. I'm wearing it today. It's very glossy but natural and nude, and I just like it. So you guys, that's all for this week's makeup bag and for the update. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below if you have used any of these products, or if you like them, if you don't, or even like what would you like to see on my channel in the future. I hope you have an amazing day wherever in the world you are. Just know that you're loved and appreciated, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!